Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of The Moonello Show, episode 11. My name's Matt.
My name's Jason.
And we're from Moonello, and we're going to talk today about custom software use cases and examples.
That sounds fun.
How exciting.
That is very exciting. There's lots of ways that you can make, or lots of different pieces of software that require custom solutions.
Yep.
So it'd probably be cool to get some ideas into people's heads.
Yep. So we've kind of narrowed it down to 5 different areas of understanding when it comes to custom software. So we'll talk about those 5 different areas, and we'll just riff on a few different examples of each. But the first one being business process automation, right? One of the biggest ones. How can we integrate software into our business to help the business run more efficiently, smoother?
Let's stop making people do work that computers can do for them, so that other more important parts of their jobs, they can focus on those.
Yep, they can shine with those parts. So software gets implemented to handle processes that happen over, they're repeatable processes, or there's new processes that get created where software can kind of just like step in and help. And also, you can take it a step further and even implement machine learning for it to then take those processes to the next level for you, right, with human beings reviewing and checking out the data and seeing how things are going.
That's the whole big deal right now is AI.
Yep.
Like what types of things can AI automate for you?
Right. Now, there certainly are off-the-shelf, no-code, low-code platforms that could certainly get a lot of businesses to business process automation. Custom software is certainly one of those as well. Because with custom software, you literally get exactly what it is you're looking for.
Right.
Instead of, there's a handful of things that come with a no-code, low-code platform that your business might not need, or, at this moment you might not need it. But custom software comes into play as just exactly what you need. You're looking for ABC, you get ABC.
Right. And especially when, we're going to talk about 5 different use cases today, but imagine trying to have one system or one platform or one ecosystem that does more than just one of those things. So, if you're looking for a no-code or a low-code solution for all of those, then you're kind of looking for different parts to different systems for different ways that you want to do your business, and hooking all of those up and making sure that they talk to each other. And at the end of the day, maybe it would just be better to have your own custom thing for all of that put together.
You're right. You're probably using custom software here and there to allow all these systems to speak to each other. Yeah. Basically taking Zapier to the next level.
Yeah, I was going to say you've got Retool for this thing, and then you've got a Webflow thing for this thing, and then you got a Zapier to connect those dots and throw in 5 different other examples, and suddenly you have a really complex ecosystem that you have to manage, where if you just had one interface, one big web app, or one big internal tool, that would kind of solve all those problems.
Yep. So when it comes to business process automation, we'll throw out some examples. So, one being in healthcare, you can streamline the patient intake process. No matter where you go, whether it's urgent care or the emergency room or wherever you go, it seems like the patient intake is kind of
I feel like that could be improved.
Here's a clipboard with some papers. Could you please give us all of your PII data?
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, we'll shred it later.
And you're starting to see doctors have tablets and stuff now instead of just the clipboards. Those that don't have a major preference towards them, but on those things are places where they can input data, and they no longer do they have to go through and type in every little thing. If you've been a patient before, for example, they automate the process by bringing up your past records on that tablet, and there's you don't have to go looking for it, or look through pages, or have a clerk or something do that for you.
Yep. And then manufacturing, tracking inventory. They're probably, depending on what type of manufacturing facility it is, assembly plant, or maybe it's a step 1 or phase 0 type manufacturing plant. There's a lot of different pieces of inventory, not to just talk about the products that you're producing and sending out, but you've got all the products that go into making that one product. What's all the inventory across the board?
you've got materials that are coming in,
Yeah.
and then individual pieces you might be building with those materials, and then the final product or
Right.
some other intermediary material that's building with those secondary steps of materials. And like, if you've got like 10 levels of materials that you're tracking by hand, that's a
Right.
very terrible thing to do.
And then there's scrap, and then there's waste,
Yeah.
and then there's, you've got,
Location, like where is all this
where
stuff
is
at?
it? How low are we getting, right? Your custom software solution could potentially be sending out alerts, or maybe even going to the next level and ordering new parts,
Yeah.
right? Maybe it sends to a queue of review, and maybe the purchaser reviews that queue, purchase.
That was when I was working in retail. That was really, really handy for us. We didn't have to do like as long as our inventory was correct. We didn't have to do any real ordering unless like somebody came in and bought 10, like all the things that we had on the shelf. Because if they noticed that we were getting low, like because we did inventory at the end of every night, we would get a shipment automatically.
Right.
Like we didn't have to worry about, oh no, we need 5 more phone cases. Well, the system knew that we only had 3 phone cases left, and there was an order going out.
Interesting.
To have us get those back in later.
Right. And then financial services, you could use a custom software solution to potentially like automate the loan approval process. There's other pieces within financial services, especially when it comes to real estate in a way. And I know we're going to get to real estate later in this chat, but even part of the real estate, the whole real estate process of purchasing a house or selling a house. There's a lot of steps in there that seem like they could be automated, seem like they could go quicker, right? There's always this 14-day, 30-day, and I understand things take time, but I wonder what in there a custom solution could almost streamline the process,
Right.
and help out the real estate agent or help out the title company or help out the let's see, it would be the buyer who's trying to schedule the home inspection, right? If all of that could be a little bit,
There's a lot of tasks for a realtor or a homeowner who's doing it without a realtor to really track.
Yeah.
In that whole situation.
Yeah,
So,
there are a lot of steps, a lot of questions, a lot of contracts. Contract time comes around. There's multiple versions of the contract. There's
signatures upon signatures upon signatures required for all of that stuff.
Yeah, especially when you're sitting there. Yeah. The second use case, data analysis and visualizations. So, we talk about big data all the time.
Yeah.
If you're going to embark on building a custom software solution, you want to make sure that you're going to have the data, so that you can act on that data. You want to make sure you're reporting on the right data. Does the data make sense? So certainly there's a lot of solutions out there that exist for analyzing this data. So you want to make sure that if you do have a system like this, you either are taking advantage of any no-code solutions, low-code, or maybe you're thinking about building your own to really capitalize on the data and what it's saying.
Yeah. Our first example of that, retail lives its life based on numbers, selling numbers, like
Sure.
how many, how much money you're making per product, how much money you're making per customer that walks in your door. There's just like so much stuff that you have to think about. So many of like buying decisions and pricing decisions and even like sales processes are determined based on like historical selling figures. Even like building your store's calendar or like how you're scheduling people. The last 3 years in December on this date, we needed more than just 2 people. So we have that data.
Right.
We can now plan ahead to know that that's what we're going to need for the day.
Right.
Yeah. Can you tell how it worked in retail?
A little bit, yeah. If you're an energy company, right, you might want to think about, understanding power generation and consumption that's being used. You certainly could gain a lot from that data, and maybe a custom solution could help you understand, the different clusters of where, usage, spikes or where clusters are using more, energy than other clusters. Certainly could help in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, like, think about wind turbines and stuff. Like, there's entire complex algorithms that determine like the direction that they should be pointing at any given time, and like how far they should be spaced from each other to make sure that they're not interacting and causing weird drafts that stop the production of an adjacent wind turbine. I forget where I saw it, but I saw a whole documentary about it, and it was really cool to see like the visualizations that they would show of like wind flow and where to turn, and yeah, it's a whole big crazy thing. But yeah, imagine doing that type of stuff without a computer to kind of visualize it for you.
Right. Right. Or analyze over like a 3-year term.
Yeah. Like all those numbers and figures and stuff, and you try to do that by hand. Averages for each day, and
transportation is another big one, right? Uber came on the scene, a handful of years ago. Almost probably like a decade ago.
Long enough that I don't remember a time where Uber didn't exist.
Right. Uber,
Or
Lyft, So just visualizing. Sorry, taxis. Yeah. What are the yellow taxi, or what are the other ones?
Like the black metro cars that we have in our area.
Yeah.
Like
I can't even think of like a taxi service company.
I couldn't tell you the name of taxi.
Yeah.
Service off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know.
Besides metro cars.
Right, or the yellow cab or whatever, right?
Yeah, the New York I don't know.
I think it is called yellow cab, or like yellow taxi or something.
Is it?
I think, I don't know.
I have the internet right here.
That we don't need AI for.
I don't know. I could just ask ChatGPT.
But yeah, just understanding, route efficiency data. Also thinking of other things like, reducing costs. Right, you could look at routes and understand different types of drivers that are on different routes and how they're picking up passengers and how those routes could be optimized. So yeah, it's data analysis and visualization. Of course, we're going to get into, I think, a little bit more retail, but retail really, kind of follows us through a lot of these use cases for, not really any particular reason, but just retail is a big part of our economy. So the third use case, customer relationship management, CRM. This is a big one, especially in our industry and a lot of the clients that we do work for.
Any industry where you have clients, really,
right? Or like customers,
you have to keep track of those everywhere, and if you're not, like, bad things probably come up. You're forgetting names,
stuff.
Hi, client B.
Forgetting phone numbers and. Yeah, CRMs are huge, and if you don't have like a good, solid CRM that you're using today, potentially you are losing,
Especially the bigger your company gets.
Yeah, the bigger the company.
Yeah, like if you're a freelancer with like 5 clients, probably pretty easy to keep most of that in your head.
Right, or in a Google Sheet. Right. Notion. Notion.
What I would use. But you're like a multi-million-dollar, thousands of clients type of thing, and then you're thinking about like passing on those client lists to people who
multiple salespeople. You got a sales department.
Yeah.
Who talked to who last? What's the update here? Jimmy's out on vacation. Let's call his 5 clients this week.
Or Jill took off for another company.
Jill left us for another.
What clients did she potentially take? Like that could be in your CRM as well. Like we need to put focus on them because Jill might have tried to steal them.
Right. So tracking unique stages of the buying and selling properties, keeping track of clients' preferences, and sending personalized alerts. We all understand today's game is personalization, right? So the more data your CRM can collect or at least absorb and have in it, and the better other systems like email marketing or some type of outreach systems are connected to that, the more accurate and personalized your outreach is going to be.
So it's more than just a Rolodex. It's got purpose to it.
Right. You certainly want your CRM to be purposeful and, for it to have the ability to work for your company, not just to be like a database full of data.
Right.
Because it's at that point, it's like, well, what's the point? Like, you just write it all down in a notebook.
Yeah.
Right. Nonprofit organizations you certainly utilize CRMs, but yeah, we could talk about a few different situations that nonprofits can use CRMs for, like tracking donors. It's a big one for nonprofits, right?
That's their whole shtick. Don't have money, you don't have
tracking donors and fundraising campaigns.
Yeah.
So they might keep track of that inside of their CRM about
events and stuff. Who attended, who's invited.
Who attended, who's invited, who's donated, when's their birthday, right? All that fun stuff.
How much did rich guy number B give to us last year? We can probably expect that this year.
Right. Yeah, it could do some forecasting for sure.
Yeah.
Volunteer activities, so you can not only keep track of donors, but also keep track of, all those amazing people that will show up and volunteer and help out a nonprofit, right?
Yeah.
And member outreach, right? So if you're a nonprofit and you're going to reach out to, do some outreach, whether it's funding or if it's, events or campaigns, right? You want your CRM to be able to, like we mentioned earlier, to speak to your outreach program, right? You don't want to have to take, export everything out of some other system to then import it into a whole nother system. You're wasting hours, you're wasting time. Data can be flubbed. You might send an email to the wrong group.
Or have to write an individual email to each person.
Man.
Yikes.
Yep. Although there are Gmail templates now, but still.
Yeah.
But yeah. Cool. And then the education sector, utilizing the CRM, might manage relationships between students, parents, teachers, right, where they're located in their education journey, and then also alumni and donors, depending on what type of school it is or what type of educational facility it is.
Yeah. I've never had good experiences with any of my kids, like the apps that you get. Like they're all I don't know, really weird, funky to use. Have you ever had that experience with yours?
Yeah, there was one that was pretty decent, and then we moved on to another school, and one of the schools right now, they have this. It's called Pick My Kid or something, or Pick Up My Kid. So everyone kind of lines up in their cars in this very long line, and once it's time to pick up the kid, you open up the app, and once you're kind of on campus, even though it's not a campus, it's a school.
Yeah, the parking lot.
Yeah. You turn down the street where the parking lot, you push this button that says what is it? I'm here or something, or announce. It says announce.
Throw my kid out.
It's announce, and it's what, you know what I mean? Once you use it, and it's okay, I get it, and my wife and I, we had to she kind of coached me through it because she usually picks up the kids, so it's it's just kind of confusing. I don't know, I kind of felt like it was older technology, and I'm announcing, and then someone was standing there as I drove my truck by, and then they're who are you here to pick up? And I mentioned the name, and they're looking at it on their phone. Yeah, they're looking at it on their phone, and they're okay, yeah, I got you here. And I'm I'm happy for the security. I'm certainly happy for their being on top of it, but I don't know, I kind of feel like the technology could have been a little better.
Maybe that industry needs to be improved.
Yeah.
A little bit, but I mean, schools are infamous for not having enough funds to fuel that type of thing. So
or we drive away and we're pulling up in the driveway, and I get an alert from the app that says, your child has been picked up. I'm yeah, that happened 12 minutes ago. What's going on here? So, but yeah, that's the CRM. The fourth use case we're talking about today is e-commerce. Big one, right? We mentioned retail is huge. E-commerce is absolutely huge.
Yeah.
If you've got a system that you're, online shop, some type of, thing that you're selling online, courses, whatever, widgets, e-commerce is huge.
This is one of those that the amount of low-code or no-code solutions out there are probably very, very, very slim. You've got Etsy, which is an all-encompassing thing. You've got Spotify, which even...
Or Shopify.
Shopify, sorry. Doesn't even Shopify have to have some, it's not... I don't know, there's still integrations to it. There's still design that has to go into it.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really used it myself, but one of my instructors in my boot camp was a Shopify designer, and he basically built stores for people from Shopify. So it's not even it still requires code for things to work.
The good thing about Shopify though is they open up their API for you to build any custom solution you want on top of their great. API. And their system does inventory management, right? I'm pretty sure it does logistics, but maybe you need to tack on a system for that. What we've done before, logistics wasn't part of it. It was kind of all based on one store or a collection of stores. Wasn't necessarily buy online and deliver through FedEx or UPS. But they certainly do inventory management very well. They have front-end templates to use for your store, but you can also build your own custom solution on top of their API, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's that's pretty neat. Kind of best of both worlds.
Right. So from an e-commerce standpoint, right, there's subscription boxes, right? So the world has kind of exploded with subscriptions and, get your razors in a box every month and get your, get your Zest Fully Clean bars of soap in a box every month, right? So subscription boxes are a big one, right? To send personalized boxes. You might be able to cater a box to a male different than you cater a box to a female if you know that type of data. Right, you build in a custom solution, you can think of things like that and do things like that, whereas in a no-code or low-code solution, you might not be able to do things like that. You can still execute on your business model, but,
Just depends on what the solution is built in or what
Yep.
tier you have or
Right.
that sort of thing.
Right. A high-end fashion retailer might use it for unique browsing experiences. They might take it to the next level. When it comes, if they kind of wrap in their CRM and their e-commerce solution kind of all in one, and their CRM is kind of analyzing what the buyer has done before they've come to the e-commerce solution and almost tailor their experience in a way that matches where they're at in their buyer intent.
Interesting.
So if they've been searching, tennis rackets, and I'm sorry, you're gonna get tennis racket ads now.
Yeah, thanks.
But if they've been
Google
searching,
ignore tennis rackets. Thank you.
if they've been searching tennis rackets, right, and then all of a sudden they come to your e-commerce experience and you're starting to serve up, not tennis rackets, but products,
Tennis clothes,
right?
yeah.
Products in that regard, right? You've almost matched their search experience instead of them having to start at the main navigation and go to sports apparel and then go to men's or women's or shorts or you can almost jump them right into the experience.
Right. And then outside of like marketing situations, we have notes here for virtual fitting rooms. So think of like eyeglass, online eyeglass stores. Like
Yep.
you have the ability to take a picture of yourself and there's a widget that will put the eyeglass on you so that you can see what you would
Right.
look like with those eyeglasses.
Yeah, that's cool.
Certainly a great
Yeah.
custom solution for that.
Absolutely.
Like, especially as people start to buy their glasses more online. Because
Yep.
there's a lot of those services out that's like way cheaper to buy your glasses online. Like Pair Glasses, I think, is the one I've been looking at. But instead of going to an actual place where they're going to try and sell you a $600 pair of glasses that has a Nike symbol on it, like go online, put a picture of yourself on there, and virtually try on their glasses, see what it looks like, and then
Yep.
pay $60 to get your glasses.
Nice. I'm sure they got augmented reality too, where you can like turn your phone around,
Yeah,
you can
I'm
like
just- that
see
would-
your face and like have the glasses there, and you can like see the, isometric view of your face or
Yeah,
whatever.
if not, I'm sure it's 2 days away from being
Yeah.
built by somebody. Yeah.
Right. Another example in e-commerce would be like gourmet food delivery, allowing customers to customize meal orders, schedule delivery times, really get hyper-focused into what they're looking for at what time, when they want it delivered, warm, cold, want beverages, right? Everything you can kind of think of. And then the fifth use case, one that we kind of encounter more times than not in what we build and what we do for our clients is enterprise resource planning. So in combination with the business process tool, how do we make our business a little bit more efficient, also comes the resource planning tool. So project management related tools, unique system tools, scheduling teams, scheduling individuals, handing off this client in the CRM or this bid to a specific team, all within the same architecture. So so if you're in business and you've got a team, you've got a group, you've got employees, you've got offices all over the globe, right? You've got to have a way to manage, right, what they're working on, what the different groups are working on, forecasting work for them, who's off during a period of time, who's on paternity leave, right? Who's scheduled to be somewhere else, right? All of that, track all of that within, a specific system.
Didn't you build a pretty big one for one of our clients that's like fits up right up this alley?
Yep.
I remember seeing it in a meeting once, and it's just like it was really not complex to use, but complex in breadth. Like it had a lot of stuff to it. You were tracking jobs and like people going into the field and then supervisors for that job and like where the status of that job was, bids, all that sort of thing. Like these can get pretty complex.
Yep. Yeah, it had a Google Map view too, or it has a Google Map view because the company currently uses it today, of all the different crews all over the country, and the supervisors can manage the crews by different pins of colors, and because they have jobs all over the United States, right? So they need to send, and you don't want to send, you know, a crew to Washington State and then Maine and then Florida, right? You want your crews working in clusters of states or clusters of counties, so they use the pin color of the map to kind of, you know, shove a crew in a specific area to take care of all the jobs kind of like in that one area. So that was another. And then the types of pins, right? Even though the pin was a specific color to match the crew, we also had a type of pin, whether it was a pin or a flag or a star, to depict what's the state of the job.
Certainly no code or low code solution out there would be able to do something of that complexity.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Man, what a great utility for that company.
Yep. So they kind of fall. I guess they kind of fall in line as like a construction company. But one of our use cases here, or one of our examples here, is a construction company. You know, tracking jobs, projects, bidding to completion. That's a big one.
Yeah.
As a construction company, you're likely rifling off bids left and right. What's going on with those bids? Where are they at? Which ones are you losing? Which ones are you winning?
Right.
Right? Why are you losing ones? Why are you winning some? But then handling, once that bid is won, then what happens? How does that transfer into an actual job? And how does that get into a system where your tactical plan is set up, where it can pull right from the bid and know the tactical plan, and it just, your team just, you know, picks right up and just starts cranking.
Right.
There's no length of time of, oh, we just won that job. Oh, this giant overhead of now getting that job into a system to now execute on. Right? That's where the business process automation comes in. But here's where, you know, we've got our ERP. Now you need to understand all the different people that are going to be on the job, who's going to be doing what, who's available, who's not available, right?
Yeah.
Managing materials and labor.
How did we do all of this like cost analysis and stuff before computers were around? Like obviously that was kind of before our time, but
I think it was handwritten, chalkboards maybe.
Like, how did the big companies even manage that?
A lot of really good, smart people.
Really good, smart people, and lots of people on telephones.
Yeah.
Just communicating across the country to update their chalkboards with all of that information. Like,
could you imagine?
Goodness.
Yeah. Then you want your...
We have it made nowadays. Jeez.
Right. And then, of course, you want your ERP system to be connected to your financial system so it can be directly reported to payroll or, you know, bonuses or, you know, cost of material is accounted for.
Get paid, pay other people.
Yep. Yeah. Higher education, so managing student enrollment, a lot like bids for a construction company, you know, student enrollment, what's happening with students.
Yeah.
What's going on? Are they coming in? Are they not? Are they going to another college? Do you need to look at what's going on there? Course scheduling, is your course scheduling all jacked up, or is it good to go? How are students filling up in these classes? Are some classes being kind of left off, like in Ghost Town? Do you need to analyze what's going on with these, you know, with these specific courses? Also, faculty, you know, workload, right? If you've got a professor that's got like
filled up.
eight classes, you know, 8 hours in a row, Monday through Thursday, right? They're certainly not going to be handing out A's all the time.
That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. They're passing it all to the interim, like the non-professors that are teaching. Adjunct professors and stuff.
Okay.
So they've got like, you know, you maybe have like 2 professors in a department, and then you've got 15 adjunct teachers that you can like fire and hire whenever you need to. Not enough people attending, well, I guess 5 of your adjuncts don't get classes this year. But anyway, tracking all of that is certainly a thing.
Right.
My wife, that was my wife's life for a long time.
Awesome.
Not so awesome.
You could use a higher education institution could use a CRM to budget across different departments too. What's going on here? What's going on there? How are we doing? What kind of funds do we need to raise? If you're a nonprofit organization, that adds a whole nother wrinkle.
How much can the football team give us this year?
How much? Football team, and then
education system.
What do you go after next? After that, is it the basketball team, maybe?
Probably most places basketball,
Yeah.
I'd imagine.
Yeah, football by far, though.
Yeah.
And then a pharmaceutical company manage the entire drug creation process. All the different people that are involved at different stages of the process, in the manufacturing facility, in the R&D facility, in the marketing department.
Yeah, and I mean this ties in well with the first one we talked about, the whole automation stuff. Like,
Yep.
it seems like number 1 and number 5 could very easily always be talking with each other.
Yeah, right, and
Which,
they
again,
probably are.
Yeah. 2
'Cause those are the-
low codes for those two things.
Yeah,
and
those are the-
talking is very hard.
Right,
Yeah.
those are the 2 biggest things companies usually look for.
Yeah.
Resource management, and how can I make my business more efficient? How can I integrate automation?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so those are 5. So we got, if we kind of recap the 5, we got business process automation, data analysis and visualization, customer relationship management, e-commerce, and enterprise resource planning. Kind of 5 different buckets or giant use cases for custom software, and each one we kind of went through and gave, different industries that exist in those buckets and how they potentially could utilize custom software to enhance their business, get ahead, be more competitive. Not necessarily in to drive revenue, but maybe to build your workforce too.
Efficiencies and that sort of thing.
Right.
That's the key to business is, the more efficient you are, the less money you're spending on things, and the more of that money you get to keep.
Right. Less waste going out the door if you're a value stream person.
Yep.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Well,
That was fun.
yeah.
That was pretty quick too.
Yeah. All right. We hope you enjoy, and we'll talk to you next time.
Take it easy.